gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Wednesday week, the Sheffield Wednesday podcast. I'm Lord Hillsborough, and on the line today, of course, we have Mr. Beastie. Hello there, Beastie, old boy.
Hello!
That's something just stood on your toe, old boy.
No, that's me being jolly.
Oh, my word, a jolly Beastie, man. Very rare. And we've got a very special guest on the line today, Beastie.
Oh, aye, who's that then?
It's Mr. Paddy Jones from the New York Owls. Hello there, Paddy, old boy.
Hello, lads. How you doing?
Oh, too bad at all, thank you. More to the point, how are you over there in the old NYC?
I'm just holding on to a big metal barrier so I don't blow away. It might be a little bit windy still.
It's a tad blustery over there. So has the storm passed now, old boy?
It's come back today.
It's come back?
Yeah, it's doing the Australian boomerang storm. And it's now, I'm about 4 feet in snow.
It's snowing over there as well now?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful time of year. No one really prepares you for this when you come over to New York. We've had 6 months of sunshine in summertime, and now it's basically like hell on earth outside.
My word. Of course, we shouldn't laugh, ladies and gents. It's been an awful time for the New Yorkers over there. And
awful?
All the very best.
Awful? So, how deep was that snow, did you say? 4 foot?
Yeah, about that. It's been going for 2 hours, though.
Let me tell you something. 4 foot is nothing. That's ankle deep. When I was a nipper, right? And you remember last week when I told you about my paper round? When I used to do
music, G.
Oh god.
When I used to do my paper round, it was up at top of my handlebars. In fact, all my basket up front. Remember when you see them on these old black and white films where they've got a basket on front? Well, I used to dream about a basket. I just had a spot where a basket could go because I couldn't afford a basket, right? But the snow, right, came right over there, well, right up to my nose. It was absolutely freezing. This stuff in New York, it's got nothing on how cold it was. I used to go out there, and remember when I went on about my nipples in Brighton, right? Now, bear in mind, I haven't never mind, oh no, right? When I was a young lad, right, my nipples were the hardest in our street, right? I'd be there on my bike, wishing I had a basket to put my newspapers in, right? Snow right up to my nose, and my nipples as hard as you like. But did I whinge? No, I didn't. I didn't come on telly saying, oh heck, oh look, it's a bit blustery, oh, it's tick cold. No, I just got on with it. I put an extra vest on, right? I put some socks on because I couldn't afford gloves. I put them on my hands, right? That's what you used to do back then when I was a lad. You used to put socks on your hands, right? And you used to just get on with it. And the only reason I put socks on my hands was so my hands didn't freeze to handlebars, right? That's how cold it was, right? Never mind any of this shopping.
You had socks? Luxury.
Well, I say socks. It was socks to me. You know, it was next door's cat. don't you be coming around here, posh Paddy, from chuffing New York City, telling me about how cold it is. You wanted that Peterborough game and you wanted that game last night. That were cold, I can tell you.
Oh, of course, chaps. That's what you're here to talk about, football.
What's that?
Can we do a bit of that? So, ladies and gents, welcome to the How Cold Was Your Day podcast, and we shall crack on with the Peterborough game. Beastie, so I assume you were there in your sheepskin chaps, old boy, keeping all that snugly and warm. Given the rundown of why I've been told it was a rather boring first half.
Oh, yeah, it was as dull as we've seen. But we all went to that game knowing that it wasn't going to be a cracker. And the only thing that mattered from that game were the 3 points, wasn't it? At the end of the day, we went there. I think most Wednesday fans expected to beat Peterborough at home, and there would have been holy hell to pay if we hadn't have done. So we put aside how we play, and all we concentrated on was getting the 3 points. And to be honest with you, as dull as it was, as dreadful, especially that first half, as dull as it was, I'm happy enough to bring 3 points home.
Yes, I mean, I must admit, Paddy, I was a little bit worried about this one. I mean, they've come off the back of a pretty decent run, two decent wins, and of course they are our what was being classed as our relegation rivals. What are your thoughts on this one, old boy?
Well, Beastie, you think it's dull being at the game? You've at least got a cold to keep you awake. Imagine getting up at 9:30 in the morning, hungover from drinking whiskey too much.
Jeeves.
Oh. You know what? You know what I don't like? I don't like people that go on about stuff, mate. Can't be doing with them.
Anyway, you try sitting through that first half in bed, hungover. It was bloody horrible. I mean, the Wednesday play commentary is not very great at the best of times, but on Saturday morning, wow, I was needing extra cups of coffee to get through it. But yeah, I think everyone expected them to win, despite the Peterborough's good run of form recently. And they were quite disappointing themselves. I was disappointed they didn't put a good fight, because they've been playing well. They've been scoring a few goals. That Boyd's been playing really well.
Absolutely.
But I think it was just disappointing from all around, really, wasn't it?
Well,
we were supposed to...
Well, the thing is, I don't know how they've won so many games recently, and what I'd really like is for us to play them teams that they've beaten, because Peterborough are without doubt the worst team that we've played this season, and if we've got more teams of that level or worse to play, then bring them on, because we'll win them all. They are a very, very poor side, and they offered nothing. They offered absolutely nothing at all. Now, all right, the first half were dull, but the second half really sparked into life straight away, didn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, on the chap comes, gives it a bit of a belter, and what was it, 11 seconds in, boys? And must have lifted the crowd a bit, that.
Well, it did lift crowd, and they really did need lifting. There were, apart from boredom in the first half, there were still none from that, and the rest of it from being cold. But that, what a fantastic strike. That ball from Lewis Buxton. Oh, even Fudge, when he sees that, when he gets back from swanning around again, I'll tell you now, even he will have to admit that is a fantastic ball forward. Flick on by O'Grady, and your man Barkley, I know we sing his praises, it seems like every week, but what a fantastic piece of individual skill, wasn't it? Just to leather it inside near post. And you would have thought that we would have kicked on from that. And all right, we did have more chances than we created in the first half, but we still really didn't get any fantastic tempo to us game. I suppose that the highlights before the second goal were all the times that we were turned down for penalties again with Antonio.
I mean, a lot of those did look like penalties, but judging by the replay, I mean, Antonio didn't seem to give too many shouts for them. But
that's the sort of lad he is, isn't it? To me, he just seems one of these lads that if he don't get it, he don't stand there throwing a tantrum. He just gets on with it. But really, we should be praising him for that rather than, we all whinge about players confronting referee and moaning about decisions. Here we've got a young lad who has clearly been fouled. Out of those 4 chances that he claimed for against Peterborough, I thought at least 3 of them were really good shouts. And that first one, anybody watch that on Wednesday World again, watch the replay. That lad has got more of Antonio's shirt than Antonio's got. And if that ain't a penalty when he hauls him down, I don't know what is.
You say anybody should see that, Beastie, but you hear the Peterborough fans claiming we're all a bunch of divers.
I know.
What on earth are they watching?
I don't know. I've read a few reports from them, and I mean, yeah, I do a match report, and I do try to be quite even-handed about it, but when I read the Peterborough reports, blimey O'Reilly on a bike, they don't half go to town on us being cheats and divers. Even Peterborough fans, if they watch that back, there's 2 out of the 4 that are stonewall penalties, and like I said, in my opinion, 3 of them. They can't disagree with that first one being a penalty, surely.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, but I mean, if it was sort of the deciding moments of the game, then maybe we might be up in arms about it a bit more. But of course, the refereeing decisions that keep going against us just carry on.
Yeah, but the point is, Lord H, right? I know people are saying that we shouldn't have to rely on these penalties, but they're happening at crucial times in the game when we're either 1 goal up or we're 1 goal down, or in the case of the Wolves game, in the first couple of minutes when it's 0-0. And had we been given that penalty in those first few minutes, I'm convinced that Wolves wouldn't have scored. So, that fair enough, we shouldn't be relying on them, but we just need an even break. And I'll tell you now, people say that these things even themselves out over the course of a season. Well, if that's so, we have got a whole glut of penalties and decisions coming our way towards the end of this season.
I think Palace might have got them all last night, Beastie.
Yeah.
About 4 penalties, isn't there?
Yeah.
But was it 4 that they had, Jack?
I think so.
Yeah.
One got saved and scored 3.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. So, on the game cracked, chaps, and of course, one of those penalty shouts did come ever so slightly before the Wednesday's second goal, Antonio was.
Is it penalty then, Old Age?
Sorry, mate?
You said penalty? Are you talking about like Chris Waddle? Penalty shouts.
I don't think it was even that good. It was something like penalty, he said. One of his posh words.
I've been playing the Beastie drinking game all day, and my word.
Don't
Absolutely sloshed.
even go there, because I'm telling you now, me and that bird, right, Aussie owl, we're going to have words, right? I need to see that owl, right, because he is getting right on my nipples. I'm telling you now.
Well,
Your nipples really are.
From
So...
what you've said, your nipples do make rather a good perch.
Yeah, they do, but not somebody as bulbous as that. Yeah, carry on. Ignore that bird. I'm not talking about that stupid bird. Get on with a goal.
So one of those penalty shouts did come just ever so slightly before the goal. But as we said, Lera's up there. He was running in and out of the box like Lord only knows what. In and out, and of course, there he is to header. It must be said, cracking header. He sort of bent around the chap to nod it in. He knocks in, and I mean, Paddy, have you seen the celebration of the boy?
I'm going to fill in for Fudge here, because I know Fudge liked his FIFA 13. That celebration that Liera did was exactly like the FIFA 13 football game.
Oh, no! Paddy.
He kind of spins around, does a bit of a wonder like he's lost, like a lost kind of run, and just falls over again. It's hilarious. I think he was playing the Beast drinking game too.
Right. Let's just cut this out, right? Right. We don't need to go there, do we? All it's doing is it's lowering the tone of the podcast. Right? Let's keep it nice.
Sorry, old boy, but it's become something of a phenomenon over there on Twitter.
What? It's becoming a
phenomenon.
2 weeks in a row.
Oh, dear. So, of course, the Peterborough chaps did get a consolation goal back towards the end there. Beastie, were you worried at that point, or was everything all wrapped up by then?
I've got to tell you that I didn't see any of that goal. And the reason I didn't see any of that goal is because Neil
on your spelling.
Jerry Springer Hargreaves interviewing me for FanCam.
Ooh!
There I am, giving my rundown of the game. And I said to him, what, we're going to do this in the middle of the game, are we? And he went, oh, yes. Oh, it's better in the middle of the game. Because that's how he talks. Right? That's like him being here. Oh, it's better in the middle of the game. And I totally missed it. And then we both turned around and we had to wait for the scoreboard to tell us that they'd scored because there was no noise from anywhere in the ground. Yeah, okay, they scored. I've seen it since, and it was a bit of a fluky one, really. It went through a crowd of players. But at no point did I ever think that they were going to get back into the game. We were as bad as the game was, and it wasn't one of our better performances, not by a long shot. I still never felt that we were under any pressure and that they were going to get back into the game. They were that poor. I just thought, in fact, I expected us to score again. And I was slightly disappointed that we didn't. But the game just sort of petered out from that moment on. And, you know, we were all happy enough to just get out of the ground, get into cars and go home and get warm.
See, that's the kind of emotional and fantastic support we need there, Beastie, absolutely.
Well, no, all of the emotion had been spent on that Liera goal, hadn't it? I mean, when he did that, he was right in front of us where we sit on the cop. We sit right on the front row, the worst view for anybody in the world. You've got a better view than us from your house in New York, Paddy, I'm telling you now. Right, but for stuff like that, it's absolutely fantastic. And but pretty much nobody celebrates like Liera celebrates, do they? You know, him and Raider, I suppose, are the two. They're really, embrace the emotions of everybody. And Liera, for all his faults, he is a player of the people, and he's a man for the fans. And when he does all that stuff, we absolutely love him. And all our energy went into that celebration. As soon as that died down, we thought, chuff this, let's get back. Get well.
Yeah, so chaps, as we said, decent 3 points. Circumstances happened quite nicely around us in the league as well. So we popped up there to 19th out of the relegation scrap. Are we allowed to call it a scrap yet, chaps? Out of the relegation zone. Nice little bit of a lift for all the Wednesday fans. Next chap's up at Blackpool. They had an absolutely torrid time at the weekend after losing their manager. And I must admit, I was looking forward to a decent game against Blackpool. Again, Paddy, what were you expecting?
Well, if you look at my Facebook, Chuffin, my prediction was 3-0. I was confident, I was buoyant, and that's probably my first mistake. And my last mistake. But I just couldn't believe it. I mean, how did they lose 4-1 to Derby? They just completely dominated the entire game.
Absolutely.
I mean, is it the same team? I mean, what happened? I thought they've got no manager. They lost 4-1 to Derby. I thought it was like prime pickings. But no, not to be, was it?
No, absolutely no. I mean, it's got to be said, there's some very good players over there. I mean, that young Ince boy, he's been coming on leaps and bounds. Of course, he was with Liverpool for a spell over there as well. I mean, a very good pass inside Beastie.
Yeah, I was same as Paddy. I was looking forward to this game because I thought we could really make a game of it. And that first 15 minutes, it was a cracking game. It was end-to-end stuff, and we matched them pretty much ball for ball. But once they scored, that was it. We sort of down tools. Well, no, that's a bit unfair. We didn't down tools, but we were outplayed. And the difference in quality all over the pitch was suddenly very, very evident. And they were miles better than us. This isn't a matter of us putting in a poor performance. Don't get me wrong. We didn't play to its full potential, but they were just better than us. And sometimes you just have to doff your cap and say, fair enough, we were beaten by a better side. And we were beaten by a better side. Having said that, we still had some good chances. We created some good chances. It's just that we couldn't finish them off. Once again, we had another good penalty shout. But the day we get a penalty from Andy D'Urso, well, it'll be even a very cold day and one that even I can't endure. But I think he's come out and said afterwards to Dave Jones, when Dave Jones has questioned him, he said, I thought he went down a bit easy. Well, hang on a minute. Surely the criteria for a penalty is if it's a foul in the box. It's not a matter of how he goes down there, right? Whether he goes down easy, difficult, tries to stay on his feet, whatever. Surely it's a penalty, whatever happens. And that would at a crucial time as well, because that would have given us a big lift and got us back into the game, but it didn't, unfortunately. And obviously Blackpool scored again, didn't they?
Absolutely. I mean, when it comes to that penalty shout, chaps, I mean, exactly the same again. I mean, as Paddy was, I'm sure, I was listening to the Wednesday player over there. However, again, as Paddy said, I was rather uninspired by the commentary, shall we say. So I actually switched over to BBC Radio Lancashire to have a listen at those chaps over there. And it seemed like a decent enough chap. So it was an old fella and a young fella. And the old fella, a very nice old boy. He seemed a terribly nice chap. Young lad said that after Antonio had taken the dive, he must have felt a little bit embarrassed and got straight back up again and started running, which I took some exception to. Put it that way. Not impressed at all.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, that's the sort of player that he is. He just gets up and gets on with it. And maybe that's why other fans think that it is a dive, because that's the sort of player that he is. But, you know, we can't help that. There were a few... Sorry, go on, Paddy.
So do you think that it's Antonio's kind of frame that gives him that disadvantage? People think, well, he's a big lad, he shouldn't be being taken down like that. And if he goes down, then, well, he's diving. You think that's going against him?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm at a loss to explain what it is that's going against him. But like I say, surely the decision cannot be made on how he falls, right?
No.
If that referee sees it as a foul, he doesn't then think, well, hang on, I'll wait and see how he goes down here. It might be a right dive, and I might enjoy watching that as well. He's got to judge it on whether he thinks it's a foul. And if it's a foul, blow the chuffing whistle.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that disappointed quite a lot of Wednesday fans last night were there were a few under par performances from our players, shall we say, from quite a few of them. Bothroyd were one of them, and young Reece McCabe were another one. And from what I understand, they're both taking a fair old bit of stick on Twitter because of that. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with that. There's absolutely no excuse for giving our players, no matter how bad they played, that sort of slaver and personal abuse on Twitter. Before long, they'll just disappear off there if they keep getting it like that. And then what have we gained?
More people to follow your drinking game, Beastie.
I thought we were playing nice.
Sorry, mate.
There were far too many substandard performances, even allowing for the fact that Blackpool were better than us. Although I think Antonio did play well, and I would give a good mention to Gardner, who I thought were excellent. And I've been considering that I did give him a bit of stick early on in the season. I've totally changed my opinion about him. I think he is absolute quality now.
No, I had those same thoughts. I mean, I did stick a tweet out last night saying that I must eat some humble pie over my original comments about Mr. Gardner, as he does seem to be coming good. But again, we shall watch his space. Of course, Mr. Taylor's seemed to have disappeared from the back four altogether now. So, do we think, Paddy, that he's chosen his back two in Liera and Mrs. Gardner?
Yeah, I think so now. I think that's a good choice as well. Like Beastie said, Gardner has improved every game, and they seem to be forging a bit of a relationship now. And the fans' favourite Liera has to stay in there. He's my man. He's the one I might turn for. He's got the heart of Sheffield Wednesday. He bleeds blue and white. I don't care if he makes a few mistakes here and there. He'll score probably 3 goals to make up for it. So.
Absolutely. Again, I must say, chaps, I mean, Antonio, in my opinion, had quite a belting game, actually. Of course, was that run that he made that was deemed to be offside, which, looking at the replays, nowhere near offside. Did also have that lovely little, broke himself through on goal, made a wonderful opportunity for himself, and then just basically put his laces through it, and it was an awful shot. But one of those nights, chaps. One of those nights. It's one of those things. It's like I said, Blackpool, very good side. So, not too disappointed, really, Beastie.
I don't like to see us lose. Right. First and foremost, I really don't like to see us lose. I don't care who it's against. We could be playing Man United or Chelsea or both of them together, and I'd still be disappointed if we lost. But tempered with that is that I do think that Blackpool are one of the better sides in this division, and when they get a manager to steer them in the right direction, they're going to be even better. We've played two different teams in the last few days, Blackpool and Peterborough, opposite ends of the scale. And I've said it elsewhere online over the last few days, since last night when we played Blackpool, that I think, I'm confident that we will finish somewhere between the two. Because that's the sort of level that we are at this season, and I'll take that. I'll take that all day long.
Absolutely. I mean, credit where it's due, BC. I do believe the Blackpool fans, there wasn't very many of them, but I've heard they were quite good. Cheered the team along all the way through the game.
They did. They made plenty of noise. Which, to be fair to them, I think they always have done, even back when they didn't get very big crowds before they got the new stand and they went on this promotion charge. They used. The few that did follow them, the few loyal fans that they had that followed them all over the country, they did make a lot of noise, and fair play to them, they did last night as well.
Have you got a pensioner in your life? More importantly, a pensioner that likes to tell you about the good old days. Well, what you need, ladies and gentlemen, is the Wednesday week patented Pensioner Plugs. That's right, ladies and gents, those pensioner plugs can shut those pensioners up all day long. It's really, really quite simple to do. All you need to do is pop in the earrings, and away you go. Listen, let me give you an example.
When I was a nipper.
Ah, peace and quiet. Fantastic. That's right, ladies and gents, you can pick up your pensioner plugs today from the Wednesday Week shop. Pensioner plugs aren't a real product, and anybody that thinks they are is a real numpty. So, chaps, on with crack, and I've been having a little nosy around over on the Sheffield Wednesday website over there, and one of the 91 Umbro shirts has gone up for auction, shall we say. Of course, all the signatures on there from the people that played over there. There's also some that didn't play. Mr. Waddleish on there, Miss Hurst, Chris Woods, Mr. Sheridan, Palmer, and Des Walker's over on there on the shirt as well. And there are some rather spectacular prizes being auctioned off alongside that shirt, including Sheffield Wednesday match day tickets.
Whoa.
Sheffield Steelers tickets.
Whoa.
And a full car service.
Ooh. What? Why? Why the car service?
Not got a clue, boy. But
I'd like to see him do yours, Paddy, if you won it. That's going to be an expensive one.
We'd have to dig it out of snow first.
Oh, shut up about the snow. I thought we'd already covered that.
Yes, let's just pop a bid in over there for the 91 Umbro shirt, or of course the car service. Needs to be at the Fat Cat Pub in Sheffield on Wednesday, the 14th of November. So, Beastie, have you got any Wednesday news over there, old boy?
Hang on, let me just check my... no.
No, not at all.
No, nothing. Not a sausage.
It's been a rather quiet week. Considering we've had 2 games, it has been rather a quiet week. Of course, chaps, a little bit of football news. Did you guys see the scenes over there at Anfield in the week?
Nope.
That's a boy,
What happened at Anfield?
Before the game, the fans were waiting for the teams to come out. They had a bit of a sprinkler malfunction, and one of the sprinklers actually turned onto part of the stand over there, and the Liverpool fans were quite literally walking on through the rain. Needless to say, they weren't very pleased about it.
Well, they won't be, would they? They're not from Paddy's neck of woods, are they? Where they seem to whinge about a bit of rain, don't they?
Rain?
About it. A little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, that's it, they're off. Hang on, here he goes again, look.
Just see snow around here. It's unbelievable. Jumping rain. Damn Scousers don't want to born.
So, chaps, let's crack on. Beastie, what we got coming up next, old boy?
We've got Better on Friday night.
Now, of course, it's rather a jam-packed week this week, Beastie. Do you think we're going to suffer from these squished-together fixtures?
Well, you'd think that after a dull game against Peterborough, being outclassed against Blackpool, that the fans would have had enough and really couldn't be bothered to go up to Better. But I've got to tell you, I'm still looking forward to it because, number one, I don't mind going up there. It's not a particularly long drive. I know a lot of fans whinge about their stadium and a lot of fans whinge about Middlesbrough. But again, I don't mind it, and it's going to see Wednesday in it. And no matter what happens, I still get a kick out of that. And furthermore, I still expect us to win.
Oh, really? I mean, they've been doing pretty well, Borough at the moment, right up there. Let's hear it, Beastie. I must admit, I'm usually a glass is half full kind of chap, but I'm a little bit worried about this one.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that the players are going to feed on, because it's on the telly, I'm hoping they're going to feed on that like they did against Leeds and want to really turn it on. I'm hoping that we've put all that in the past where every time we were on Sky or on the telly, we always played dreadful and we got beat. I'm hoping now that every time we're on telly, they're thinking, hang on, let's show what we can do. It'll be a great playing surface. It's a great arena to play football in. And I hope they're going to turn it on and let's have a fantastic victory to see us through to next week when we play Forest.
Absolutely. I mean, Paddy, of course, with it being on the TVS, I should imagine that you and the New York Owls will be getting together for the game.
Yeah, we can't wait. Well, I couldn't wait until last night. Now I'm a bit like, I really don't want to show it anymore because I think we're going to get hammered. I wish I could share Beastie's optimism, but I really don't. I think Borough are a good side. I know we've got problems when we play on TV. So I can't see anything but I think a draw is a great result at this fixture. Yeah, we were only meeting up. We had about 15 of us for the Leeds game, I think.
Oh, fantastic!
Last time. So we're growing by the week. So hopefully the result on Tuesday hasn't dampened spirits, and they'll still come out in their droves and have a few beers.
Absolutely. Just in case there are any Owls out there in New York that haven't found you just yet, Paddy, where will you be to watch the game?
We go to the Football Factory, which is at Legends Bar on West 6th 33rd Street. It's right next to Empire State Building, which is probably under snow at the moment. I've told you it's snowing.
God!
And of course, if there's any New Yorkers listening that aren't Wednesday fans, Paddy won't be in his apartment at that time. So by all means, go round and rob the crap out of him. So, yeah, that's my pleasure, boy. My pleasure. You don't get to be a lord without knowing the tricks of the trade, shall we say.
Without knowing how to burgle. You don't get to be a lord without knowing how to burgle.
Suddenly the secret's out. That's how he got his money. That's when he says that he's outlawed. It means burgling.
Shh. Chaps on me pop, and it was very, very nice again this week to have a little bit of mention in the programme there, Beastie.
Yeah, it did. Thanks to whoever it is that puts it together. I don't know whether it's Neil or James or Trevor at the club that puts it together, but every time they mention us in here, it's always good stuff, isn't it? And it just says that people can now check out the Wednesday Week on our new website at thewednesdayweek.com. Hang on a minute, I just found some small print. It does mention that Beastie is the best looking of all those on the Wednesday Week. And everything he says is very, very interesting. And he doesn't go on at all. Now, there you go, there's an insightful little piece that most people might miss.
I mean, it does have to be said, we're not paying for this advertising, chaps, so please don't think that all the money that these people
Beastie
are paying
might have paid for that bit.
Look, the truth pays for itself, Paddy.
So, of course, you can see that up there in the programme from the Blackpool game. Of course, it is in their little section about online and Twitter and all the social networks and things. Of course, Mr. Paddy over there, or if I may call you by your Christian name, Paddy. I suppose so, boy. You must be a very keen follower of certain Twitter pages and of all the online stuff. Being so far away, does it keep you in touch? Keep you with a feel with the club and a feel with the fans?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Twitter is basically my Bible on the match day, especially. Sit there with my cup of coffee in bed, locked to my laptop, reading all the commentary from different people. There's some guy called Beastie. He's terrible at spelling. Absolutely terrible at spelling.
Hang on. No. He's not terrible at spelling. I'm pretty good at spelling. I cannot help it, right, if I've got a finger lisp, right? You keep going on at me. You pick on me because I've got fat fingers, right? And I was cold. I can't help it. It's the stupid phone, right? I can spell. It's just that things sort of gang up on me. And you lot don't help.
Oh, I didn't even know it was you, Beastie. I thought it was someone called Beastie. Anyway, one of my favourite new tweeters was tweeting for the Blackpool match yesterday, and they're the Dutch Owls. I think for the first time they did this last night, where they were tweeting like their commentary in Dutch, and it was absolutely brilliant. Because I mean, I ain't got a clue what any of the Dutch things are, but one of the things I retweeted because it was made me laugh was "En we drukken, maar die goal valt maar niet." Hashtag pot Vidori. The only thing I can that translates as "and we drink, maybe we'll score a goal." Hashtag we're shit.
Oh, they must be playing the Beastie drinking game as well.
Yeah, I think that's what drucken and drucken means, drinking and drinking.
There were a load of Dutch Owls through for the Leeds game. I don't know if we mentioned that before, did we?
Oh, I don't think so, boy.
No, they were sat around me because I know one of them, Jeffrey Jansen, who used to live over there. He's since gone back over to Holland. He'll hate me for calling it Holland. Apparently, they've got this big hang-up about being called Holland. You've got to call it the Netherlands or they get very, very angry. Anyway, they were all over here and they'd had a few that night at that Leeds game. But listening to them sing their slightly different versions of our songs was absolutely fantastic. And apparently, in Holland, they also hate Leeds scum. Now, how cool is that?
It's universal.
It's the same the world over. But my favourite chant from them that night was when they were singing about Chrissy McGreedy. They're chanting Chrissy McGreedy. But yeah, any time that the Owls have a fan group in another country, it always makes you have a really good feel about it, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And seeing, hearing you on about them on Twitter, Paddy, just makes it even better, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We've got Dutch Owls, Brazil Owls. As far as I feel as Scottish Owls, I heard the other day as well. That's obviously good to see the following some decent football. But yeah, obviously we're the best.
No, of course, I do enjoy the Brazil Owls quite a lot myself. They do tweet in Portuguese, I don't mean to sound awful, chaps, but if you do a translation over there on Twitter with some of these tweets, it comes out with maybe not quite what they're meant to put on. It's hilarious. So absolutely, pop over there and follow away. And of course, if there are any, I've been looking at our YouTube analytics and I've got listeners all over the place. And so by all means, if you are listening in far off lands, please do get in touch with the show. Beastie, you've done the interview with the Sydney Owls, which you can hear on the feed as well over there at YouTube. And so by all means, we've got this New York chap on now at the moment. But if you want to come on the show, come and have a chat with us, and we'll be more than happy to have you.
I can't understand a word he's saying, that New York owl.
Forget about it. That's the worst accent in the world. I really apologise to every New Yorker I've ever met.
Sounded perfect to us.
Can we cut it out, please?
No.
I'll be chased out of the city.
So, chaps, I think that brings us to the end of this week's show, unless you chaps have got anything else to add.
No, just that on the whilst we're on about Twitter and Facebook and what have you, there's been a lot of rubbish posted, aren't there, about the players and what have you. We really need to stick together as Wednesday fans, because I really don't think we're that far off. Let's get behind them and see us through this little bad patch, and starting on Friday when we beat Middlesbrough.
That's the spirit, old boy. That's what we like to hear. Beastie gives a roaring cry.
Come on!
Oh, he died. So, PJ, where can people get hold of you, old boy, if they want to follow up with the New York Owls? Where do they need to be looking?
So you can go to our blog at www.newyorkowls.com. You can also find us on Twitter, where I'm at most of my time. That's at New York Owls. And on Facebook, which is rather underused, but I love it all the more. It's facebook.com/NYSWFC.
Fantastic. Get yourselves over there and follow along with the New York Owls. Beastie, where can people get hold of your nonsense, old boy?
Owlsalive.com, at Beastie_. And soon I'll be using a new Twitter name, at Dead Owl. Right? Because I need to have words with that fat bird.
And of course, ladies and gents, if you don't want to get hold of me, you can get hold of me over there on Twitter at Lord_H. That's L0RD_H. You can get hold of this show, as was shown in the Sheffield Wednesday programme, at TWW Podcast. Of course, they're on Facebook as well, /The Wednesday Week, and at our brand spanking new website, thewednesdayweek.com. So, chaps, can you give us a nice, good, rousing goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, y'all.
And it's a very goodbye from ladies and gents, and we shall see you very soon.
There's a chance here, a great save by Turner from McClare. Mike Tony, a terrific goal by Sheridan.
Brexman against Jones. Get in.
You could have two goalkeepers in there that would have trouble saving that.
The Wednesday